welcome to this training. In this training, I'm going to be introducing you to Corel Draw. So, if you are taking a graphic design course, there are different graphic design software you can use to achieve your design project. So, in this training, I'll be teaching you how to use Corel Draw for your graphic design project. So, when you launch your Corel Draw screens, there are a few things you need to take note of before starting out. So the first thing I'd like you to know is understanding the software environment. So I'm using CorelDraw X7, CorelDraw X7, which is CorelDraw 2017. So when you launch your CorelDraw software, this is what the interface will look like. So the first thing I'd like you to know, like I said, is understanding the environment. You will not thrive well in any software if you've not understood the environment. So when you are starting out, or you are learning any new software, especially a design software, you need to understand the environment. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you or explaining the environment of CorelDraw. So this is the beginning part. This is graphic design for beginners. So stay with me. The CorelDraw environment is divided into 5 parts. I'll be explaining all of them. The first part I'll be starting with is the top region. This is the top region. This part, this is the top region. Where my mouse is hovering is the top region. This area is the top region. The next part is the left region. The left region is where my mouse is hovering right now. You can see my mouse hovering this region, this region is the left region. The left region has the toolbox. Why? The next part you should know about when it comes to understanding CorelDraw is the right region. The right region has the color palette. You can see my mouse moving around the color palette. So you have the color palette around here, the right region. Then the down region has other tools like the page. You can see page. You can choose to add page just like this. I've added a new page. Okay, so this is the down region. It has the page, it has the eyedropper. I'm going to explain a bit. That's the color tools. So the fifth region, I said, is divided into 5, is your canvas, your design canvas, which is this white space. Your design canvas, normally we have a page where you can design on, which is something like this. I'm using this page size is for social media flyers, which is 1000 by 1000 pixel. So it has the page and also has a white space where you can save your designs. So your design canvas is very large. It can be large. You can save multiple designs on your design canvas. So I've divided the region into 5. The top, which is this part my mouse is hovering on. The left, which is where you find your tools, it's called the tools box. Yeah, the toolbar, the toolbox. Then the right, which is where you find your color palettes. You also notice you have the eyedropper here. So then we have the down region, which is where you find your page, the number of pages, the colors you are using, and your status bar. And the fifth region, like I said, is your design canvas. So very quickly I'll be explaining each of the region. So the first we have here is, let's take the top region for instance. So the top region has the menu bar, the standard bar, and the property bar. Don't worry, I'll explain all of this. So the menu bar is okay. If you want to see all of this bar, you can right click on this on the top region and you see the different bar. You can also choose to customize it. You understand, you can customize, but I won't do all of that in this video. So you find the menu bar, which is this file, edit, view, layout, objects, effects. These are menus, you understand, and there are a lot of tools in each of these menus. Take for example, if I click on object, you see the a dialog box will appear showing you other tools you can find. Don't worry, CorelDraw is not complicated. Graphic design is not complicated. It's very interesting and exciting, so I'm going to teach you as much as I can, and I'll try to make this class very interesting. So if I click on effects just like this, you see these are different tools you can use to manipulate your graphic design and achieve something beautiful. So each of these tools have their function. So on the menu bar you find the file, edit, view, layout, objects. They all have their different purpose, text, table, tools, and all of that. Why on the standard bar, this is the standard bar, the next bar directly under the menu bar, you notice there's a line dividing them. So you see that the menu bar has a different color, the standard bar has its own color, but the next bar now is divided. There's a line dividing the next bar from the standard bar, which is a property bar. So the standard bar has an option to open a new page. It has open an existing document. All these also have shortcuts. You notice the shortcuts when you hover around them. So for a new page you can use Ctrl+N. When you begin to master how to use this tool, you may not need to click some of this menu. You just make use of the shortcut. So this is to open a new page. Remember, I was talking about the standard bar. So the standard bar is the next bar after the menu bar, where you find tools like to open a new page, to open an existing document, to save a document. You can use Ctrl+S to print, to cut, to copy, to paste, to undo. You understand? Undo, the undo button helps you. Let's say how it works. If I click on this, for instance, and I give it maybe a navy blue color, if I don't want this color, I can click on undo to remove the effect I just added. So the undo button helps you to remove an effect or whatever you've just edited. You can also add it back by clicking redo. So redo button is going to put it back. They also have their shortcuts. So to undo is Ctrl+Z, and to redo is Ctrl+Y. Ctrl+Z, Ctrl+Y. Ctrl+Z, Ctrl+Y. Ctrl+Y is to redo. So that's that. So the next thing I like to talk about is the percentage. So what the screen is showing at 40%, you notice what will happen if I increase this to 50, for instance. See that the screen is bigger now. So if I increase it to or reduce it to 30%, you see what's happening. So it's showing by percentage, you understand? So that's how this percentage works. The next is full screen. Like to preview your screen, if you click on it, you see the effects. So this is what it looks like. You can press your escape button to leave that view. The next is your ruler. So the ruler is look at this part showing dimensions like 1600, 1400. This part of your CorelDraw environment is called the ruler. The ruler is on the top and on the left side of your screen. So you can choose to remove the ruler. So I'm hiding it now, so I can click show ruler. What the ruler does for you, it helps you maintain a particular dimension when you are doing big projects, maybe like calendar, magazine, book printing and all of that. You make use of your ruler. Take for example, you want to let me take out this. You can click it and drag. Let's say I want to design and I don't want to design outside this region, so you can use your ruler to set the region you wish to maintain. or the alignment you wish to maintain. Let's say I want to arrange these items. Of course, there are other ways to achieve this, but then these are the rule that works. If I want to keep this like this, I don't want it to exceed this blue line, so I can choose to do something. But there are other ways to achieve. I can choose to highlight this. If I've achieved the first, I can press L, which is align left. You understand? So these are the rule that works. So we are still under the standard bar. The standard bar also has some other elements you can explore, but for the purpose of this training, I think we can stay with the new document, save, open, print, cut and paste, undo and redo, and maybe to set up your screen size how you want it to be. So I'll keep this at 40%. I think this is fine. So let's quickly go to the next bar. Still on the top region, let me delete the ruler. I'll just click and press delete. I'll click this and press delete. I'll click this and press delete. I'll click this and also delete it. So still on the top region, we have our property bar. What the property bar does, the property bar is this part. I'm hovering around this part. So what the property bar does is that it gives you the properties of a particular what's it called, element or item in your design environment. Take for instance, I'm not selecting any item, so what's showing on the property bar is the property of my page. You understand? So my page is set to custom, and the size, the height and the width is 1000 by 1000, which is the accurate size for social media flyers or social media post design. So it also has the orientation. These are the properties of my page currently. So the page is set to portrait. I can set it to landscape, but you will notice since it's a square, if for instance I'm using an A4, let's say I set this to A4, so you see it's bigger now, so I can put it on landscape or portrait. You understand? But then let me leave it at custom. I'll set this. Okay, it also has the dimension, so I like using pixel when I'm using my custom design. So I'll set this to 1000 by 1000, which is the design size for social media posts. So that's that. Let me set this to 40%. Okay, that's that. So we also have the scroll bar. You can see the scroll bar. I can move the page to wherever I want it, like within this region. With the scroll bar, I also have the down scroll bar here. You can see this. So let me keep this at this, like this. So still on the property bar gives you the property of a selected item or tool. Since I'm not selecting any item or tool, you notice that what I have on my property bar is the property of my page, which is the size, the orientation, which can be portrait or landscape. I also have okay, this is applying whatever you are doing to all pages. So I also have the unit. Currently I'm using pixel for my, I can choose to use inches. For inches, I think it's 4 by 4, okay, 3.33, but I love using pixel. Okay, so we also have the view. Let's see what happens when we increase this. Okay, this is notch distance, so you can set all of this. So the next thing I'll be talking about now is the items on the right region, which is our color palette. So if I bring this here, so the right region now is our color palette. You can use your color palette to set up the colors of your design elements, either a shape or what's it called, maybe a text. So if I take in a box, for instance, I'm adding a shape, or maybe I'm drawing a line like this. So remember, the property bar gives you the property of anything you select. So when you are not selecting anything or any tool, the property bar shows you the property of the page, your current page. So see what will happen now when I select something. I've selected this text. You notice the property bar has changed. So the property bar changes based on on your selection. If you are selecting a shape, let me select this box. You notice the property bar has changed. So these are the properties of this shape. These are what you can manipulate in this shape. So if, for instance, okay, we are going to just treat a little bit of them. So if I have what's it called? Let's say I've selected this text. You notice the height and the width of the text is this by this. You also notice that I can flip this text like this. See what's happening? I can also flip it back. I can flip it upside down and I bring it back. So these are the properties. I can choose to rotate. If I give it 90, it rotates vertically, but I'll put it back to 0. Remember, you can use undo. You understand? You can also choose to lock that item. If I lock this text, I think it won't undo. You can also choose to lock that item and all of that. Okay, that's the ratio of this text. It preserves the ratio. You understand? So if I lock it, I think I'll not be able to work on it, but let's leave that. So we have the font style. I can choose any font style. I like this font, TW Cent. So you can select your font style from the font property. You see that the font style has changed. You can edit the font size. You can make it bold. So if I want this to be bold, I can choose bold. You see, I can make it italics. I can underline it. So these are the properties of your text. So you get them under the property bar. You can choose to align horizontally, center, right, justify, and all of that, depending on what you are doing. So this is how this thing works. So the property bar gives you access to the property of whatever you have selected, of your selection or your selected item. You can also see more text property from here. You understand? So these are other properties you can explore, like the color. You can choose to give it this color. Okay, that's a shadow frame color. Undo. Let me undo that. I don't want that. Let me I'm going to undo that. So you can just explore this. So the next thing you can also do when you have selected an item, you can give it color using your color palette. So these are the color palettes, or I can choose. You'll notice that any color I select in my design, the way they design CorelDraw, modern CorelDraw software, they try to make your work easy. So whichever color you select, most times this is necessary because maybe I don't want this shade of blue. If I right click, if I click on this and I hold it, other shades of the color will come up. So they were like, if I'm using this shade of blue, for instance, I may not know how to get it again, even if I know how to get it. So what CorelDraw is doing for us is that it's trying to make our work easier and faster by saving the shade of color right under here. See where my mouse is hovering. So any color I've applied on my design, even if I undo it from the element, which is a text for this, in this case, you'll notice that the color still remains. So in case I want to repeat the same color, I don't need to go to my color palette to look for the color. I'll just come here and select it. Let's say I want to use this shade of color, and that's that. So the color palette helps you get color. Okay, there are two ways to apply color to an element. We have the line color, or we'll call it outline color, and we have fill color. Take for instance, let me make this a bit bold. Let me select, let's say, area black. Okay, look at this. For instance, the color is set to navy blue. What if I want to add a line color? Let me use this peach, or okay, pink. I think orange would be nice. Let me use orange. So if I want to set up the outline color, I'm going to, instead of clicking like this, okay, I've not selected. Remember, before you edit any document or any element, you need to select it. So I'm going to select my color palette. If I click on the orange color, it changes to this, but that's not what I want. And see what has happened again. The color has been saved here, orange, but this is not what I want. So I'm going to undo this with Ctrl Z. I want to give it an outline color. So how do I apply the outline color? I'm going to right click instead of clicking. So when I right click, you see that the outline has gotten a color, including the line. You understand? So if this is a line, for instance, okay, I've selected this line, and you notice again that the property bar has changed. So the property bar changes based on your selection. If you are selecting an image, the property bar changes. It gives you the property of that image. If you are selecting a text, it gives you the property of that text. If you are selecting a shape or an element, any element, it changes based on your selection. So I've selected a line. If I click on fill, since this element is just an outline, the fill color will not work. So I need to give it an outline color, which is, I'm going to right click to have that effect. You can see it. Then under the property bar, I can choose to rotate it. I can choose to mirror it like this. I can choose to mirror it vertically and all of that. I can increase the thickness, the outline, the width. You see what's happening? This is 8px. I can make it let's say 5. So this is the stats. I can choose to add an arrowhead to this depending on what you want to design. You see what's happening? This is the bottom. I can choose to also add something, maybe something like this. So you see how I'm manipulating it. So the goal of understanding your software environment and the tools is to be able to manipulate these elements to come up with your desired design. So I've just created an arrow from the line I drew. You understand? Using the properties you get. So you can also change the line style. So I can give it something like this, but I like it normal. So you can explore this on your own. This is beautiful graphic design, is very interesting. So we're talking about the color palette. So I said there are two ways to apply color to an element: the fill color and the outline color. So for lines, you right click. You understand? You right click to apply outline color. So if I give this let me give this purple. See how good it looks. So I can manipulate design. Let's now go to a shape. So this is a box. You might be wondering, how did I get this box? We'll get to the tools, don't worry. So you just come here, select rectangle tool, and you draw to your desired dimension. So you notice something. Let me go up. Okay, so that's how it works. So if I want to give this a color, now I'm still talking about color palette, I can click on this. If I want to give it an outline color, I can click on this and I have that. So that's how it works. So you can just try out your hand, do something nice. This is not cool. All right, let me just give it I think this is better. So I can also choose to edit this property. So if I want to make it a curve, a rounded, I can just give this like 10, and you notice what has happened. That's affected it. the corner radius, so I can also give it this kind of point and all of that. So you can also increase the outline width by, let's give it 6. So this is how you manipulate your designs. You get it? So let's quickly jump to the what part? The left part. Okay, if I go to the left part, let me just talk about the down parts, the down region of your CorelDraw environment. Let me delete this. Should I? Let me delete that. So the down region has a couple of things I'd like to bring to your attention. So the down region is this part of my design software, design environment rather. This part my mouse is hovering from here all this place downwards like this. So the down region has the slider. You can slide left or right. It has the slider bar. It also has pages. You understand? So I've opened 2 pages in this file. So if I want to go to the next page, for instance, now if I click page 2, this is page 2, and you notice something. Every of your design that is outside your page, that is on the white space, you understand? When we talk about your design canvas, I will explain more of the white space, doesn't show in your page. So if I move to page 1, and you notice that is what is inside the container that will show. So if you are doing your graphic design, you need to design in this region of your page container. Anything outside there won't show. Whether you're exporting it as an image or you're trying to print, you must keep it. So if I'm printing on A4, it will have to, my design has to be inside this canvas. It has to be inside the page canvas. So let's go to page 2. So if I want to open a new page, still talking about the down region, I can click on this plus. The page gives you access to the different page you have opened, and you can open more. If I click on plus, I've added the 3rd page. If I click on plus again, I've added the 4th page. Guess what? You can also choose to rename your page. You understand? Let's say you are designing for a client or a brand, and you can just say, okay, page 1 is for, you right click to rename. I just right click. When you right click, you can rename page. You can insert another page. You can duplicate that same page. You can also delete the page. So let me rename this. Let's say this is for flyers, FLYERS. If I say okay, you see that it has changed. Let's say my page 2, I want to give it for complimentary card to NPL, NNTR, or business card. Let me just use PUSINS card. When I click OK, for page 3, let's say is roll up banner. This is how you organize your work. As a graphic designer, you need to know how to organize your work. Roll up banner, BANNER. If I click OK, just like that. So when I come to this design file, probably for a brand, I don't need to start searching where is my flyer, where is my roller. I'll just look at the pages, select for flyer, I design my flyer here. Business card, I design the business card here. Roll up banner and all of that. Which other thing? Maybe letterhead. You can choose to give this letterhead and so on and so forth. So you click OK or you press enter. So that's how you rename your page. Talking about the down region of your design environment. So under this, we also have the eyedropper, adding colors. Take for instance, now if I bring this, which page is this later? Let's take this to business card. So if I put this here, top region in business card, then maybe on the roll up banner page, I put my design canvas area and left region. Then on the letterhead page, I put my toolbox Okay, let me reduce this a bit. You notice what I did, right? Okay, let me keep this to 40% so it should be one way I set my page. I'll just click on zoom button and select under the properties zoom to page, and I have something like this. So see what has happened now. On page 1, the flyer, I have my down region. We've talked about, okay, that's what we're talking about. Page 2, I have my top region. We've talked about this. Page 3, so you can just select the pages and do your designs on each of them. You understand? We're coming to the toolbox, so let's go back to our down region. The down region also has the eyedropper. How does the eyedropper work? The eyedropper is used to select colors. So if, for instance, I want to model a color, let's say this is this color, and I want this eyedropper text now to have the same color, I'll just select that text, click on my eyedropper, and I select that color. You notice what will happen. I'll select the eyedropper and click. Something is not right. Okay, so I just got this picture from the internet. So this is how the eyedropper works. The eyedropper is used to copy colors. So if, for instance, I want to copy the color of this lady's tie, so when I click on the eyedropper and I select that color, you notice it has appeared here. Or maybe I want to copy this color, so when I select the eyedropper and click on it, it appears. So it makes copying color easy. So if I was going to use this color for my design now, we'll talk about design elements and design principles. We talked about repetition. So you notice that I'm repeating colors. This background color is almost, that's the flowers, it's almost like this peach. Is this peach or pink? Whatever it is. So you use the eyedropper to copy colors. So I've gotten these two colors from this flyer. So if I want to copy this girl's skin color, maybe this part, see that it has added it. So I can now choose to give my my elements the colors I've copied. It makes my work easy. You understand? I believe you are following. So these are the eyedropper works. Talking about the down region, we also have the status bar. This part where my mouse is hovering immediately after the color is called the status bar. So it has the status of whatever element you have selected. So if I'm not selecting, it's going to show none. So if I select this, it's giving me the color, the status, the hex code, and all of that. So that's how it works. So let's quickly jump into the tools bar. I'll be rounding up shortly. So the tools box, you find the tools box in let me take this off, let me keep this here. You notice the tools box in the left part of your design environment. So the first, under the tool box, now we have different tools. So I'll just speak on a few of them. This is the introductory part. Maybe in our next training we are going to do a design. So I'll just pick a few of them. So the first tool is the pick tool. The pick tool, for you to okay, let's just hover our mouse around it. When you hover your mouse close to any of the tools, you are going to see the function. So the pick tool helps you to select, position, and transform objects. I'll explain all of this practically. So before any element, any design element, whether it's a text or a shape or an image, can be edited, you need to select it first. You understand? If you want to move it, you can change the position by selecting. Take for instance, if I select this with the pick tool, I can move it. So I'm changing the position. How about transforming? So if I want to change the color, I need to select it. If I don't select, I can't edit this thing, so I need to select it first and bring it back here. So talking about transformation now, let's say I want to change the color to something else, something like this. This is cool. Maybe I want to give it a line. I want to make it bold. So I'm already transforming that text because I've selected it. So with your pick tool, you can select an item, you can change the position, and you can transform it. See what's happening already? I've given it an outline, I made it bold. Let me make it italics. So this is how it works. What if it's a shape? Let me bring back this shape. So when you click pick and you click outside this space, nothing is selected. So remember, the property bar shows you the property of the page where nothing is selected. When you select an item, property bar changes. So I can transform this item having selected it, because having selected it, I have more options to play around. So I can make this something like this. Give it, let's say, 30. So you see I've transformed that object now because I was able to select it. I can feel it, or I think this would be better. So this is how it works. So you are able to do all of these things with your pick tool. I can increase the size, that's the outline size. So all of this manipulation, remember, when you want to fill the outline color, you right click, and when you want to give it a fill color, you click. So that's how it works. So for the pick tool, it helps you to select, position, and transform object. So if I want to position this object here, I'll use my pick tool to move it to this place. I can also duplicate it like this. So this is how the pick tool works. How about the shape tool? What does the shape tool do for you? Let's give this 0. Let's keep this like this. So the next tool is your shape tool. Your shape tool can be used to edit a curve, object, or text character by manipulating nodes. I'll explain this. So if I select this item and I click on my shape tool, you'll notice it has changed, right? There's a dotted line inside the outline, on the outline. So I can use this node. These are the nodes. You can manipulate your object using this node. So if I do something like this, you notice that it has changed. Let me undo this. I'm pressing Ctrl Z. So what if I want to just change only one of the node? I can just select that node. You notice other nodes are not selected, are no longer selected rather. So if I do this like this, you see that if what you want to do this is on shape tool. That's why I'm being able to manipulate this. So you can achieve anything you want using your shape tool. So if it's a text, you can do same. When you click on shape, these are the nodes. So I can choose to space it out like this. So whatever I want to do with the nodes, I can just do it. Are you seeing what's happening? So you can just do some manipulation using the nodes. So the nodes help you to manipulate. See how it is? It looks funny, but this is done with the envelope. Let me undo this. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, and Ctrl Z. Let me also do it once more. So that's how the shape tool works. I'll be stopping this class for now. So in our next video, we'll continue with other tools. Thank you for staying to the end. This is X-plore Design Studio, where we teach you design, graphic design, and UI UX design. Have a lovely day. Thank you.